Hello and welcome everyone to this new session of Happy Life Talk. This is Melanie Grammar.
And Ahmed Elkilany.
So Melanie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Ahmed?
I'm doing fantastic.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm really proud about what we're doing here.
Yes, it's a very nice project.
So Melanie, would you like to reveal to the audience about today's topic?
Definitely. Last time we were talking about the reasons why we would like to be in a relationship. So, of course, now we're interested in how can we keep a relationship healthy. So this will be our today's topic.
Exactly, that's what we promised our audience last time about. So, how can we make or keep our relationship healthy, Melanie?
Ahmed, I like giving questions back, so I would like you to ask, what do you think? What are the most important factors for a healthy relationship?
Yeah, like a typical psychologist. Okay, I think, if I think about that, I think respect, honesty, and communication would be a good base of having a healthy relationship.
Yes, very good choice. And especially the last one that you mentioned, the communication, is one of the most important factors that keep a relationship healthy. So because it's so important, we decided to dedicate today's session to this topic.
So communication, huh? Okay, so from now on, I'm gonna call my wife day and night and in between.
What you want to say is that you think the more communication, the better, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think this is what comes to our mind when we think about communication, and that there has to be communication in a relationship. We would think, okay, so I have to communicate more with my partner. I have to call him more often, write more messages, or be more also more accessible for his type of communication. But that's actually not the point. The important thing about communication is that we have not a high quantity of communication, but a high quality of communication.
Well, so it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So maybe when I call her, I just make a charming voice and send her some flowers.
Yeah, that could be a nice detail. But it's also not what we're talking about when we say good communication. Good communication that keeps the relationship healthy, in first place, doesn't apply any judgment. That means that each partner gives the other the space to express its feelings and opinions without being judged.
Well, so judging in what way, Melanie?
Well, judging means that we would make the other person feel uncomfortable about what he's saying, or he would feel that it's ridiculous. So not judging would mean even if we don't agree with the opinions, or even if we're not able to understand what are these feelings our partners is experiencing, we try to understand it, and we give it a certain validation.
Yeah, actually, I totally agree. I mean, I kind of had this experience before when I started to be open into talking about certain topics, and I feel like I'm getting criticized or judged about that. I definitely gonna stop talking about this anymore, and it's not gonna happen.
Exactly. This is what's happening when we judge. When we judge our partner, when he's expressing his feelings or opinions, then he feels uncomfortable or scared, even scared to communicate in the future. Important topics or important things are remain unsaid, so it leads to misunderstanding. There's a big lack of understanding. Maybe in certain situations we don't even know why our partner is behaving in a specific way, because there are some factors we don't know. He's not talking about them anymore, and this can lead to insecurity, and we also might imagine things that are not true because we obviously don't know the truth in that situation, and that can lead to serious conflicts in the relationship.
Well, guys, so you know what to do. It's about quality, not quantity. So Melanie, tell me, what else comes under the word communication?
A very big secret of healthy relationships is that the positive communication is bigger in relation to the negative communication.
Well, of course, positive communication. I mean, I don't expect us to sit down and start fighting every now and then when we want to communicate, right?
Exactly. So, but obviously it's what happens a lot of times, that we're not focusing so much on the positive things that we could see in the relationship or in the behavior of our partner, how he is, what he does, what he says. But we're focusing especially on the things we don't like about our partner or about the relationship. And this leads to a lot of negative communication.
So how can we have positive communication then?
Well, the only way to get more positive communication when we're not having it at that moment is to start intentionally focusing on things we like. And this can be very simple things like maybe the way our partner dresses, or that he or she prepares a food in the evening, or maybe the way he talks to us, or anything that we maybe would take for granted at first place. We put the focus on that, we put attention, and then we communicate that to our partner.
Well, so basically show appreciation.
Exactly, show appreciation. That's a good summary, I would say.
Okay, so this is one way of positive communication. But what if I'm coming back from work and I feel tired and maybe stressed? Do you think I should better talk to my partner about this, or actually not talk about it because I have the feeling that I don't want to disturb her and don't want to put her in my stress that I'm having?
Okay, that's a very good example. I think everybody can relate to in some way. Let's see the two situations. Let's first imagine you don't communicate, that you're stressed, that you don't feel well when you come out from home, when you come home, and you just hide it and you keep it for yourself. What do you think would happen?
Well, she will not know that I have a problem and be stressed out.
Okay, and what will be the way she will be treating you, or she will react?
Well, if she starts feeling something, maybe she will think anything. She will just imagine anything in her head and react according to that.
Exactly. Now there can be different situations. The first situation could be she feels that something is not totally okay with you. She may ask you, then if you say everything is okay, she still will have the feeling something is not okay, but you're hiding it. So in this situation, she will already think, okay, something is strange, like he's hiding something from me. In the other case, let's say she doesn't notice, and then maybe she just acts according to what happened during her work day or during her life with the children or whatever she's doing. She starts to communicate maybe a problem that she has, or maybe she starts even criticizing you for something. And it would be a situation you are actually not accessible, you're not open to talk about these things because you are having a high stress level. So you would actually need some kind of space and not having some problems now to face in this family situation. So this would be the second situation. In this situation, how would you feel?
Well, I think I will start feeling more stressed and maybe overloaded, maybe even getting angry at her. And but these were not my intentions. I mean, my intentions were, when I decided not to talk to her, is to not let her have this kind of stress I'm having, and because she would also have her own problems.
Exactly, but by avoiding communicating your own state, your own emotional situation, you're actually provoking what you wanted to prevent. Okay, but wait a minute. We haven't talked about the other situation. Means that you come home from work, you feel stressed, you meet your wife, maybe your children, supposed wife and children, and you communicate to her. You just tell her that you had a difficult day and you don't feel like talking at the moment and you need some space. What would happen in this situation?
Well, I think first she will know that I'm stressed. She might be understanding or not understanding, I don't know, depending on the wife, but she might.
Of course, yes.
But I mean, the basic or the most important point is at least she know there is something wrong, and she might be understanding and start either to comfort me or to start, I don't know, trying to adopt or make me feel comfortable about this. Or she might start to, or not start, but she might not bring certain topics that might make it worse. Like try to give me the space to heal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so she might be considerate about your situation. So the most important thing is that you really communicate not only your state, the way you feel, but also your need. What is it that you need? Do you need her to hug you? Do you need to be alone? Do you need to talk to someone on the phone or whatever? Like that you really communicate your need so the other person knows what would be the best way of reacting. Whether he chooses then to do that or not is another thing. But if he doesn't know, he doesn't have any chance to react in the way that would be good for you.
Well, now that you said it this way, and it gets clear to me, I think this would be the better option, because preventing her from being in this stress as me will not bring anything good. Well, okay, Melanie. Are there any other points you would like to add here?
Yes, actually there is one more point I would like to talk about, and this is when there's really a situation when we don't like something and we want to change something in our relationship or about the habits of our partner. These critics should never be about the person itself, like we should never criticize the personality our partner has, but we can criticize his or her behavior, the way he's doing certain things. But these critics should be communicated in a healthy way.
Well, can you give me an example of this kind of critics?
Definitely. Okay. Imagine there is, let's say, a woman. Okay, in this case, we just take a woman. It could be a man also, but let's say it's a woman, and she feels annoyed because her boyfriend is always letting his clothes lying on the floor, on the bed. He's a little bit, let's say, messy, and she would like to have more order in their flat because she feels that she's like going after him and picking his things up.
Yeah, right.
Do you think this happens?
Definitely.
Well, could be a typical situation, right?
Yes, of course.
So, yes. So in such a situation, the most important thing is that first we would wait for a good moment to communicate this. We would not start to talk to our partner when he's like on his way to work. He's already stressed about a project or something that he has to do during the day. He actually doesn't have time to listen to us. But we would bring it up at the evening with a glass of wine, sitting on the terrace. So there will be good atmosphere and our partner is open for this kind of conversation. And then first we would start talking about something positive in the relationship.
What do you mean with something positive?
Positive in this situation could be related to the living together, no? For example, I could say, oh, darling, it's so nice. We took the decision to live together. We are now here for five years, and I think we're doing very great. We share our lives, and we're having all this nice time. We're cooking together. I really enjoy being with you. Something like that. Yeah, to get to talk about good things, and then we would start bringing up the difficult topic, which is that we would like to introduce some changes, right? So we would say, the only thing lately I was a little bit annoyed about is that there are a lot of clothes on the floor, and I feel like you don't know where to put them when you come home, and you just put them in any place. And maybe you didn't notice, but I have this feeling that it's up to me to keep the flat in order and to clean these things after you. And then, after this, you would directly propose something, how it's possible to improve the situation. So you could say, so I was thinking about this, and I came up with the idea, or I thought that maybe we can try to find a solution. And if you want, I can help you. We could maybe reorganize a little bit the flat and find a place for everything that you would bring from work, so you can put it directly in these places, and the situation would change that way.
Oh, you're surprisingly, Melanie. I actually like what you said now. I mean, it's definitely better than, honey, come here, let me show you something. What is this mess you're doing here? Haven't I told you 1,000 times that you should not let your pants this way? I mean, come on, man. Come on. I'm not your mommy. I'm taking care of the kids, of the kitchen, of your food, of the place is clean. Now I have to take care of your stuff. Right, Melanie?
Exactly. So this would be a negative example for how we should not do it. And it's not the only reason that we would have a conflict, but it's also not so effective. Because when we react like this, we would say, "Oh my God, why are you like this? We're here not in a zoo." And then the other person feels directly criticized. He feels attacked. He would go into defense, and he would even not be open to any changes in this situation.
Yeah, I think also he might not admit that he is doing something that annoys the other person. Not like the first example. Where he might feel responsibility of making her feel uncomfortable or annoying her.
Yes, exactly. You know what happens mostly in these kind of situations? She would say, "Oh, you're a mess, you're horrible," and then he would say, "No, you are worse." Actually, you do this and this and this and that, and then they're entering into a conflict without any solution. It's not about finding a solution anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Melanie, this brings us to the end of our session. Would you like to say something?
Well, yes, I would like to summarize the most important points we were talking about today. So, first, be careful that you're not judging your partner. And second, take care that there is more positive communication than negative communication. And the third point is, when you don't like something in your partner, think about the way you communicate these critics. Do it in a way that your partner is open for the critics. Take a good moment. Communicate first the positive things you like, then bring the topic up and make a proposal how to solve the situation.
Thank you, Melanie. It's always nice to talk to you about life.
The pleasure is mine, Ahmed.
So, would you like to tell our audience what would be our next topic?
Yes, definitely. So we will still be talking about relationships and how to keep relationships happy and healthy. And our next topic will be the importance of respect and why you should never lie. So thank you everybody for listening. I hope we can welcome you in our next session, and have a good night.
Thank you everybody for listening to us. This was Happy Life Talk with Melanie Grammar
And Ahmed Elkilany.
Goodbye everybody, and until our next session.